Could everybody please take their seat? Correct. No, the meeting will go the same length of time, so. Okay, everybody. We're going to start. My name's Cliff Weiner. I'm president of the POA. Thank you guys for attending. First on the agenda is our pledge to the flag, and remain standing for a moment of silence for our first responders and our military people. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Next. Oh, he's coming. Next is a reading of our minutes by our Secretary, Rep. Benson.
All right, thanks, Cliff. Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Hope everyone had a good Easter. Got a lot of candy? No, right? Okay. Which is probably a good thing too, right? But I got some from one of our board members, so I'm set. I'm gonna probably eat it before I get it to the grandkids. All right, what we usually do is when we go over the meeting minutes, we just sort of cover some of the highlights from the last meeting. So what I want to do is, in the announcement period, so we have some openings and we have some announcements. We have questions that the audience might want to, and members might want to bring up, and then we go through the speaker time. So out of the announcements, one of them that I thought was worth bringing up was Gary Cato, who supports our soldiers program, mentioned that they are taking donations for the Ukrainian relief. Funds will go via churches directly to Ukrainian residents needing assistance. So if you'd like to support our soldiers program, which helps for the soldiers and the veterans that are over in Ocala Forest, they also are now doing through that program supporting the Ukrainian residents and the relief effort over there. Cliff mentioned that due to the growth in the villages, the bulletin distribution is going up by 3,000 more papers. Since our intent is always to get it, the bulletin to everybody in the villages, unless they say no, they don't want it, so that they can be hearing what's really going on in the villages from the factual standpoint. Cliff urged all residents to go to district.gov and for the information on the fire district, as far as the independent fire district, and print out page number 4 there that gives examples of the anticipated costs the residents would see annually by premier home, designer home, cottage village, and whatnot. We had a resident question that said, mentioned that the issue regarding insurance companies and homeowner roofs, that many insurance companies are canceling insurance or doubling the rates if insurance did not get their roofs redone within a 10 or 15-year point, even though maybe your shingles you put on said it was good for 20, 25 years or 30 years. The answer was, the Cliff said that the POA is watching this and that the next bulletin or within a bulletin or two that we'd have some articles on the roofing issue facts. Our speaker was Linda Kaysen, Assistant Vice President of Emergency Room Services at the hospital, and provided an overview briefing. She stated it's been a tough journey since the University of Florida acquired the Villages Regional Hospital and Leesburg Hospital, basically in survival mode due to the pandemic that started right after their January 2020 acquisition. And then they had a cyber attack in June of 2021 that really crippled some of their IT efforts there. The challenges include increased volume of patients, obviously the COVID situation that resulted, a lot of resignations. Many nurses went to the traveling program because it paid better. Speed and pace slowed down, struggling to get patients out of the ER in a timely manner. And then fatigue factor, due to shortages, many signed up for extra shifts. They're working to develop a patient-centered culture. They've started a retention and recruitment initiatives within the last 8 weeks, and they're attempting to elevate the emergency room care, which is improved throughput, decreased mortality rate, and improved patient experience. There were several questions that they took for record to go and get some more information on, and that those questions then would be put into a future bulletin once they had a chance to research them and answer some of those. So there was really no specific question that I thought was worth bringing up at this point in time related to that. but you will see some of the answers to those questions in future POA bulletins. And that basically covered most of what our meeting was about.
Thanks, Reb. So can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Second? All in favor? Let me say one thing about the roofing issue. We asked in the bulletin if you had any experience with the roofing company in the last year or so to send me an email. That was probably a mistake. I probably got 150 emails, and I will tell you that probably 148 of them were not very nice. So I'm trying to work through the information because we will not publish any kind of information that we can't physically verify so that it's truthful. We just don't put information out because we like to put it out. So it's going to take me some time, but we are working on it, and there will be some information. And I will tell you guys, please, if somebody knocks on your door and wants to give you a free roof inspection, if you didn't call them, don't let them do it. There are more problems than you could say something when we have our open forum, man. There are more problems than you can ever imagine, and some people have gotten hurt pretty badly with this whole issue, plus getting their insurance canceled and everything else. Please, just be careful. There's lots of reputable roofing companies out there, and there's a lot of them that aren't, so I'm not going to name any names now, although I think I could. Next is our treasurer's report from our treasurer, Donna Kempa, who's walking good tonight.
Yes, I am. Thank goodness. Okay, for the month of March, we had revenues of $11,302.57. Our advertising tends to slow up a little bit this time of year, so it's really kind of important that, you know, if you get a renewal notice from us, please renew, because it helps keep the bulletin costs in check for us. That's really our only expense, is really the printing and distribution of the bulletin. We have expenses of $13,601.38. So for March, we did have an operating deficit of $2,298.81, but we do have a surplus for the year as of right now. But like I said, this time of year, our advertising revenues tend to go down a little bit, so it might not be there too long. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. At the back table, we have our friends from Seniors versus Crime, Hospital Auxiliaries here, Realty Execs, and Honor Flight's got some information in the back. Did I miss somebody? District Gov is back there too. In Reb's reading of the minutes, he stated that Gary Cato was here last month from SOS, Support Our Soldiers, who tries to help the vets that are living in the Ocala National Forest, which I find a total disgrace that we have veterans living there. At any rate, we had a paper shredding event last Saturday or the Saturday before. Last Saturday, wasn't it, Sal? Last Saturday. Okay, it was a success. But I asked people to make donations because we don't charge our members for it. Make donations to SOS. I thought he was going to be here tonight, but he's not. But I will tell you, he raised almost $1,800 through the generosity of the people that live here. So thank, from the POA and from me especially, thank everybody who did help him out. It really was a great gesture. We have some supervisors from different districts that are here, so help me. I hope I don't want to miss anybody. Sitting in the back is Reed Panos, who's a supervisor from District 5. Reed's also running for Sumter County Commissioner for seat 1. Next, in the back with his hand up is Andy Curtis, who's supervisor in District 6 on my POA board and running for state representative. Andy Billadaro is a supervisor in District 12. Did you raise your hand, Andy? If you did, you didn't raise it very high. And okay, and he's also running for Sumter County Commissioner for seat 2. I got him, I just got to think. Let's see, did I miss anybody? Yeah, Sal Torme is a supervisor in District 8. Jerry Felici is the district supervisor in District 5, and I am one in District 4. So we are well represented for different districts. Now we have, oh, and Donna Kempa. I forget her all the time. Donna Kempa, my treasurer, is also on the AAC, which in my opinion is one of the most important boards in the villages because they control all the amenity money north of 466. So it's really important, and Donna and the rest of that board does a great job. We also have some other people here that are running that I just really quickly want to introduce. Sitting in the back in a green shirt is Jeff Bogus running for Sumter County Commissioner for seat 4. Cheryl Anderson is also here. She's running also for seat 4. We might have someone else from seat 4, but I don't think so. Right here in the front we have Gerald Loomer, who's running for the school board. Is that correct? Okay. Did I miss anybody? Oh, yeah, I did. Dan Warren, who's on my board, is running for Enscott for seat 9, for District 9. Anybody else? Okay.
Ash.
Oh, Ash. Stand up, Ash, because I forgot you. Ash is also running for state representative against Andrew, but they're in different categories. One's a Republican, one's a Democrat. I don't really care. We just need to get somebody in there that's going to do something for the residents. That's what's important. As Rebs or Donna said, or Reb, one of them said, the villages is growing so fast down south, and we're distributing so many more papers. We're up to almost 65,000 papers. Pardon? Per month. I make a joke out of it, but it's not funny. I said, developer can't get rid of me, but he can build enough houses, I won't be able to afford to publish all the papers. But so far we've been able to do it, and as long as you guys keep joining, we'll be able to do that. But I want to say that as the area grows, the needs for volunteers and for board members for the POA increase. So I decided to try something. There'll be an article in the bulletin that comes out, 2 weeks, a week and a half, first Monday of May, whatever that date might be. And we're going to have a little meeting on May 24th at 9 o'clock, 9:30 at Laurel Manor. I have a room reserved. We're going to have coffee and donuts for the people that come that are interested. We'll answer questions and see if we can't get some people interested in trying to join the board. We try to help you guys, but you got to help us. I can only do so much, and so can the rest of the board members. Unfortunately, we've had some illnesses and some deaths that have taken some from our ranks. So it's kind of important. Hopefully you guys will show up for that. I have my fingers crossed. As you know, we started to video record our meetings last June. Our numbers have been very good. Some months are better than others, but they're very good. And we're averaging about 350 or 400 live views. You can go to our Facebook page, POA at the Villages, or you can go on our website and watch it the next day. So we're getting lots of hits. POA went before the AAC, I did, and PWAC, Project-Wide Advisory Committee, at their last meetings, or at their budget meetings, to ask them to consider video recording PWAC and AAC meetings, and hopefully also district meetings. Not everybody can make time to come to a meeting, but it's really important that you see what your government is doing. And the only way to do that is by watching it. And last year when we tried it, we didn't have numbers, but this year we did. And last August, in this very room, we had our district manager at the time, Richard Bear, and our public safety department chief, Chief Kane, do a presentation on the special fire district that they want. We had 1,728 hits. That's enormous. there isn't a group that's ever had 1,700 people come to a meeting in a year. So it's really important. And they turned me down last year. Hopefully this year we're going to get something done. I hope. We're going to try. And for all of you that are supervisors on different boards, when it comes before you, I hope you support us. Because it's really important that your residents see what's going on. How many here get e-notifications? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's really important. Go to districtgov.org, sign up for e-notifications. Hurricane season's coming pretty soon. You're going to get more notifications you ever want if, God forbid, we have a storm. You can pick and choose what you want to know. If you live in District 4 and all you want is information on District 4, that's what you'll get. You get to check the boxes you want, take the information you want, and believe me, you won't regret it. Here we go again, guys. Cliff does this every month. Vial of Life. We partnered with the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. This is the Vial of Life. What you do is you take one of these. You take there's 2 sheets of paper here. First sheet has the 2 green stickers. Second sheet has your medical information. You fill it out. You stuff it in that Vial of Life. You put it on the top shelf of your refrigerator. You put 1 green sticker on your refrigerator. You put 1 on your front door. And when the EMTs knock on the door or break it open or come in your house and they see that, they're not going to have to ask you one question. They're going to go to the refrigerator and get all your information. It saves precious time. And from personal experiences with my wife, who had a medical issue, it was really important. Because I was a mess. Because as good as you think you are, when it's a loved one, you go to pieces. So it's really, really important. We have a whole bunch of them in the back. Pick one up on the way out, pick up 2. I promised Sheriff Sumter or Lieutenant Seymour I would do this until we got one in every house. So we got about 135,000 more to go. We're not having a cash raffle tonight because we didn't have a big enough audience. I don't know why we don't get a bigger audience at Everglades, but so be it. People are watching it at home, I hope. So at this part of the program, we're going to have our open forum. If anybody has a question they would like to ask, we will try to answer it. If we don't get an answer, or if I don't have an answer, we will make sure you get the answer. So if Jerry and Sal, you can.
Okay. All right. When you were talking about the, I'm Judy Halloran, and we live in Bonnybrook. And we've been here since 2013, we bought in 2013. So I wanted to just address the homeowners and the roofing situation. It was finally announced, I believe yesterday, that DeSantis is calling another special session next month, specifically for this issue of the homeowner insurance. And I will give you the name and contact of somebody that can really fill you in on all the details. He's been following this and going to Tallahassee, etc. So he's very, very educated.
Okay. Thank you. But just for your information, in 2010, when they changed the sinkhole insurance, I worked with another group, and I will tell you that there's no stronger lobby in the state of Florida than the insurance lobby. So Governor DeSantis can try, hopefully do something, but I'm not putting any faith in anything until I see it actually happen, and I do have that information. And we will be checking in, but thank you for it. Okay. With that being said, oh,
I am glad to be here. It's my first meeting. So I am new to Benning area, but not so new that I don't know how the traffic on 301 goes, but the new light is just driving us crazy because it's so Makes no sense.
The new light where?
It's at Marsh Bend.
Oh, Marsh Bend and 301?
Sorry, yeah, oh, sorry. It said 301 and, No, it's at 301 where they put on a new light to go onto Marsh Bend.
Okay.
And what's happening is that the traffic backs way, way up. Took me 3 attempts to get through the light the other day. And what concerns me is that they keep adding more and more houses without more and more infrastructure.
Well, the light in the road, that's a county issue.
I called Bradley on that name because I dealt with the same thing she did. I'm sorry. Somebody also had reported that, and he had just called the state because that is maintained by
By the
them.
state.
And it has to be approved through an engineer. The timing on those signals is not something that they could just run out there and change. Had it been county maintained, they would. It hasn't been turned over to them yet. They are working on it, though. That was the word I got. That is a nightmare, and you're absolutely correct.
Okay, I was going to call Bradley tomorrow to see, but, okay, thank you, Eric. Anybody else? Okay, so I guess we'll get into our program. We're honored tonight to have Honor Flight here. We're going to learn all about everything that Honor Flight does, I hope. Is that correct?
A little bit.
A little bit? We got 2 ladies that are going to tell us about Honor Flight. I will tell you that it's really an important thing. Are you guys on Korean War vets now, or are you still?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
In Vietnam.
In Vietnam. Okay. Well, you know my feelings of vets because of what I said about the ones that are living in the Ocala National Forest. So without further ado, you guys can either use this one or you can use this one.
I'll use it.
Okay.
I'm kind of animated.
And I thought we were going to have a PowerPoint, but she said she just likes to talk, so go for it.
I'm good at that. I'm head of the Speakers Bureau. I talk all the time. I'm from Texas, so, we're full of hot air and we can talk all day long. Anyway, I'm kind of animated, so I'm doing one of these all the time. My name is Vicki McMillan, and I have been with the Honor Flight for 6 years since we moved here. I learned about it in Kansas when we were just about to move from there to Florida. My dad was my first veteran. At the time, he was 89. He's now 96, and he still talks about the trip. He lives with us, and he's still a go-getter. Our Honor Flight was established in 2012, and some of this I'm going to have to read to get it right for you. It was to honor our veterans by taking them to Washington to see their monuments. Part of a National Honor Flight organization, Honor Flight is one of over 140, and it could be more by now, hubs across the entire country. The original Honor Flight started in 2005 when a doctor talked to one of his patients and found out he was a vet and he had never seen his monument. So the doctor said, "You're going to see it." So he took him on, he happened to be a pilot, took him on the plane, took him to Washington, and more of his friends that were also doctors and pilots found that out, and so they too joined this doctor and started the Honor Flight. That's how it began. We have had missions since 2012 and have honored more than 1,500 vets, and by the end of the year, I understand we'll be close to 2,000. So we're doing a really good job. They started out with World War II, and as the war theaters progressed, we have taken many from World War II, the Berlin crisis, Korea, we're at Vietnam. Who else have we taken, Marilyn?
Some vets that didn't serve during the war.
Yeah, you didn't have to be in a war theater to be a vet. As long as you were honorably discharged, it didn't matter if you pushed a pencil, held a door, whatever. You are entitled to go. And the vets pay nothing. Everything we do is for the vets, and the vets pay nothing. And let me tell you, it takes a village, and I mean one this size just about, to take care of all the vets that we have. And it is probably one of the best things that I have ever done in my life. I cannot tell you how much I have learned and how much more I appreciate the men and women that served. Honest to God, the stories I've heard, I don't know how anybody came back And I thank you if you're a vet here. I thank you for your service and for allowing me to grow up in such a privileged world, because I'm afraid my children and their children won't have that privilege, and it makes me very sad. So thank you for that, and I try not to ever take it for granted. So on that, before I get too mushy, if you want to go on the flight, we used to do paper applications. Now we want everybody to go online. We want everybody to be computer savvy, as they say, because it's just faster, and we have so many people. I think we now have, what did we say, 200 on the waiting list? More than that? 600 on the waiting list to go. So it's very important that you get your name in so you can go to the front of the line whenever. If you're a World War II vet and you haven't gone, or you know someone that hasn't gone, they go to the top of the list. We want them to go before they fade away. And I understand still there's 10,000 World War II vets that pass away every day. Every day. I can't wrap my head around that. So we want those guys to go, and they are lovely. They just can't believe what we do for them. And when a flight's being filled, like I say, you get World War II first, then Korea, the Berlin crisis, Vietnam. We haven't gone to Desert. Yeah, we have Desert Storm, but we don't have Afghanistan as far as I know yet. So we're working on that. The vet will get a phone call when selected about 2 months before the flight. The wait time is based on when you served. If you didn't serve during a war, like I said, you are still eligible to go. Now, what happens before the flight date? This is where I have a good time, because I'm just like a worm on a hot skillet. I'm everywhere. I love it. The guys are fun. I have a good time with them. We joke and carry on. We have meetings out the wazootie, so everybody knows what's going on. We have guardians. Well, there's usually 5 sets in a squad. So we have pre-training for the guardians, which is a lot of fun. And then we meet our vets, and we get to meet them and talk to them. And we have a squad social where we take them to lunch, and everybody gets more training and more information. We do have a lot of surprises that are out there for the guys, and we don't talk about those. And I know some of you here have been on one. I don't want to hear any surprise stuff told in here. Naughty. So we got to keep it a secret, because that just makes it more fun for these guys, okay? When we get to the day of the flight, we arrive, and everybody hold on to your seat because you're going to throw up. We get to the American Legion Hall at 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, everybody goes, I'm not going. But you got to go, because the minute you walk through the door, the party starts. We have a great time. We have TSA people there. We have ladies that do all kinds of things for us. We have a little bit of breakfast, and everybody's starting to just get really ramped up. Even though it's, dark 30, everybody's all jazzed and ready to fly. Even the guardians come alive a little bit. Yeah. Don't listen to her yet. So she does more heavy work than we do as guardians, I'll tell you. But she's been a guardian and a squad leader. She's been the whole 9 yards. It is truly an uplifting trip. You do more listening than you do talking. Once the guys are on the bus, after we have our little ceremony at the Legion, we get on the buses. Everybody's kind of excited, yeah, we're going, finally we're going to go, and yeah. Everybody's trying to go to sleep, but everybody's too excited. And there's still surprises along the way. But once they get to the airport, and they're in wheelchairs, a lot of them now do not need wheelchairs because they're more mobile, they're younger than the World War II guys. So we have kind of relaxed some of the rules. Not everybody has to have a wheelchair. If you choose not to and you think you can walk all day, which let me tell you, I just got back last Wednesday, my legs are beat. You walk about 15 to 20 miles from the time you get up until the time you come home, and you are pooped because guardians don't get a wheelchair. We get to push all the guys around, which is a lot of fun. So we go down, and once we get to the airport, we go to the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which we have a standing appointment with them. They know we're coming, so the vets get front row seats. We have a few minutes to walk around the area and see some of the, we see Audie Murphy's resting place. We see John Glenn's resting place. We learn a little bit about the memorial as we go through. It's very touching. Sometimes we're fortunate enough to have one of the guys come out and talk to us about the routine at the unknown. We go to the Marine Memorial, and we drive around Iwo Jima Memorial, which is an unbelievable sight. It's the largest bronze memorial that's there. It has over 10,000 tons of bronze that made that statue. It is so impressive, and the guys just ooh and ah. We can't stop there because it's on a knoll, and it's too slippery for the guys. We don't want anybody falling, and we're not doing egg rolling down the hill with a vet, so we don't stop. But we go around so they can see it, and it's extremely moving. Then we go over to the Air Force Memorial, and we have lunch. Sometimes we have, like this time, we had the drill team out there, and they put on a tremendous show. And we have lunch. It's all catered. It's really good. They fight over the cookies that are in the box lunches. And we walk around there for, about 30 minutes or an hour to have lunch. And then we get back on the buses, and we go over to the World War II Memorial, which is there on the lagoon, at the end of the lagoon. We have group pictures made. And then we break up into individuals, or if you want to stay with your squads, and you go and take the vets wherever they want to see. If they want to see only one memorial, that's where you take them. It's their day. You do what they want, not what you want, because what you're going to get in return is something you'll never get from any place else or anybody else, because you will start hearing stories that just about break your heart. And I'm telling you, you will have at least one teary-eyed session with these gentlemen. They're amazing. I can't tell you how much I'm just in love with all of them. We have fun, we joke and tease and everything, but they're just the best. We can go at World War II. We walk on down to the lagoon. We can see the Korean monument, which is, even the people that were not in the Korean conflict, everybody wants to go see the Korean statues. You're shaking your head. You've been on one, I bet, haven't you? Yeah. They're fantastic, and they just pick the heck out of those statues. You will hear them go, he wasn't a Marine. Look at, he's got his helmet undone. Nobody in the Army would put the strap on. I mean, that's not a phone. That's not a gun. It's like, holy crap, just look and enjoy. But no, they're having a good time, and they just have to make sure that they know what they've been through. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we do go over to the Vietnam Memorial Wall, which a lot of them choose not to go. My husband has a best friend on there, and he will never go. But you can have the docents do a rubbing of names on there, which you can take home, and it's very meaningful. Then we walk down, and we see the Nurses Museum, which is beautiful. Unfortunately, it's smaller than it should be, but it's there. Then we go on to the Lincoln Memorial, which is at the end of the lagoon, and you can go up on the top floor where Mr. Lincoln is and look down the lagoon straight down to the Washington Monument. It's very impressive. If you haven't seen it before, it is very impressive. Sometimes we get to drive by the Navy Memorial, which is right in the heart of town, so we can't stop because of the traffic. But the bus kind of slows down and, holds traffic up and lets the guys see. My dad was Navy. He was kind of disappointed. But the Navy Memorial has water, which is refilled on a regular basis from all the 7 seas. So for the Navy guys, that means a lot. My dad was in the Pacific, so that meant a lot to him. We get on the the buses and go back to the airport. We usually have dinner in the airport. Now we're doing, what do you call them? Charter planes. Yeah, my brain is fried from Wednesday. It was hot. But we are now having charter planes, and so we have dinner on the plane, and more surprises come about, and then we fly back and come back to the American Legion. I can't tell you all the things that happen between the airport and home because it'd spoil you. It's a long day. It's sometimes between 22 to 25. I've been on one that was 26 hours long, so everybody's exhausted. When we come back to the American Legion, there's a homecoming. And let me tell you, I've been to one where we had 1,000 people show up, literally 1,000 in numbers, show up at 1 o'clock. The party starts at 9, get there early, get a good parking place, and they have a band and all kinds of things to wait till the guys come home. But they ran out of parking places, there were so many. We have so much support in the villages and the surrounding areas. It's incredible. I mean, every time I come back, I'm in awe of the people that want to get out of bed to come down there when I'm like, I want to go to bed. You know, you've been up all this time. But the adrenaline is there. You have a good time. You get to know the guys. You see them all around the villages, and they always go, hey, and we've got our names on our shirts. So they know us. We just know them by their hats or their vests or whatever they wear. So I encourage you to come and volunteer. We need new volunteers. We need new guardians. We need people that help run the show. I think the last time I was told there's like 250 people behind the scenes that get this show on the road before we get on the plane. And you have no idea the people it takes to run this thing. If the government ran as well as the honor flight did, we might have something going instead of all these dips that are sitting in the seat. So please volunteer. It is something you will not regret. You will feel so uplifted, and you will do so much good for these guys. I still have people from my first and second flight that we still stay in touch and have lunch. And I'm going tomorrow to my vet that I just brought back. He didn't get enough pictures of me with him, so I have to go dress up and go have lunch with him and talk to his wife. So, you know, things like that. They really get attached to you, and it's a lot of fun. You'll never do anything, not one thing. I don't care, getting married, having a kid, nothing will compare to what you get from going on an honor flight. It not only honors the vet, but you honor yourself in taking care of these men and women who provided what we have today. Like I say, I'm full of hot air. I could talk all day. I kind of get emotional. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them before Marilyn gets up here. Yes, sir? You, in the red shirt. Whatever your name is.
Are you still requiring guardians to have vaccinations?
Oh, you cannot go on a flight unless you're vaccinated. So we don't want anybody, you know, yeah, that's a national thing.
I just want to make a statement.
Go right ahead.
Second to the last one that flew out of Ocala, I was blessed to be the MC for the return. There was at least 1,500 people on the flight line. They had the hoses going over the top of the airplane. There was at least 150.
Secret.
Oh, at least 150 flags on the grinder, and the guys that were in the audience had been there before. Now, who am I, Bozo the Clown, right? I handed the mic off to these guys and let them talk about how much it meant to them to be on that flight. And there's not a dry eye on the flight line. This is incredible on every level. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
To see a man who didn't think he would ever get to do this fit in his uniform that he didn't fit in until now he's 90 years old, smiling like a donkey eating stickers as he's being pushed down the ramp of that airplane. Mm-hmm. That will change your life. And if it doesn't rip your guts out, you don't have any.
Something's wrong with you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for what y'all do. We
Thank
appreciate
you. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes. What's your name, sir? Are you going to, ma'am, oh God, okay. Military all the way. Are you going to volunteer and work with us?
Mr. Hempel, I've spoken to him several times to help with the golf tournament. I told him if he ever needs my help, I will be there. I'll do whatever you need.
We need your help. We need your help. And we need your voice. And we need your height, because all of us are starting to shrink.
What qualifications do you have for volunteers?
Are you
To be
breathing?
a volunteer?
Are you breathing? Are you breathing? That's the biggest one. Well, we really like people that are enthused about going. In order to become a squad leader where you get to ramrod 10 other people, 9 other people, you need to go on at least 2 flights as a guardian and learn the ropes, so to speak. But as far as qualifications, you can fly up to the age of 75, I believe it is now. Once you reach the first day of your 76th birthday, you can no longer fly. You can go on flightless. We have 4 airplane flights a year. We have 2 flightless, which are people that don't want to fly anymore. They fell out of too many planes or whatever. And they may be bedridden, that they can get into a wheelchair. They get the same show that the gentlemen that fly do. It's all done on green screen at Eisenhower Rec Center. It's phenomenal what they do. They get the bus ride. They get to see all the memorials. They get the box lunch. They get all the treats, all the tricks, and all the surprises that the guys on the buses do. And they start out at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then their show is over around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So it's not, a 22-hour, 24-hour show, but they get the entire thing. They just don't have, the flight and the wait and all this stuff. So
The band, the village cheerleaders, everything on it. It was awesome out there, seriously.
surprise. You can't go. You're naughty. No, we want you, but you just can't. You can see he's so excited. He just can't stop talking. Sign him up. He is. It's fabulous. You got to go. Please think about doing it. We've got brochures in the back. Like I said, I'm head of the Speakers Bureau. I've got cards back there if you want somebody to come and talk to a group or at your home. I've gone to homes and talked to ladies and gentlemen about it. Please pick up a card and let me know. But the meeting is on the first Thursday of every month at Eisenhower. Please come and see what we do. It's at 1:30. So you've had lunch. You're not going to go play golf yet. Come and listen and see what this takes to get these gentlemen and ladies their deserved rewards. I guess I'll shut up unless there's no more questions. Oh, good. I get to talk some more.
Vicki, can you explain about mail call?
No! You be quiet. You're naughty. We don't talk about that. Mail call is when the mailman comes to your house. We don't talk about that. So, no. No more questions.
We got one more over here.
Uh-oh.
Is there a age restriction on guardians, and what is the cost to be a guardian?
Okay, that's a good question. You can be a guardian up until you're 75. Once you hit the first birthday or first day of your 76th birthday, you're grounded. But you can go on the flight list. You can volunteer. Once you get there, you'll see everything that it takes on the ground at Eisenhower to get this thing going. I swear to goodness, it's indescribable. It is indescribable, the organization this organization has. So you can do that. First guardian is, first time you're a guardian, it's $250. The second time you're a guardian, it's $200. That's $200 that you would spend on a dinner now with inflation. So don't eat, just come join the honor flight. Be a guardian. We need skinny people. You can fit in the airplane seats better if you're skinny. So I'm on a diet because my butt got too big. Okay. I am going to, if there's no more questions, I'm going to turn it over to Marilyn because she's got so much more to tell you, but she's not as silly as I am. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good evening. How many veterans are in the room? I want to personally say thank you for your service. I can't tell you how honored I have been to be a guardian 7 times to 7 World War II veterans. And we need you because about 5 or 6 years ago, the veteran that I was assigned to was a fellow by the name of Charles Prince. I called him Prince Charles. Prince Charles weighed more than I do, and I'm a big woman. And Prince Charles was in his 90s. He also he's about 6'2" or 3", little bit shorter than you, I think, but he was wheelchair bound. And I pushed him around Washington, and there's footrests on the wheelchair that they can put their feet in, but he was so tall, he liked to put his feet out in front of him. So as I was trying to push him, he had his feet on the ground, and by the time I was done, I only weighed 110 pounds. But I will tell you that the trip, as Vicki has said, anybody that has been honored enough to go as a guardian can't talk about it without the emotion that that gentleman showed you. The veterans are so appreciative, both the male and the female veterans that we've taken. Now we're pretty much to the point where the World War II veterans are really, the last one I have is going to celebrate his 96th birthday next month. And he will be at every month we have a follow-up luncheon at the Moose Lodge on 44. For any veteran that's been on the flight, they're eligible to go. They want to stay with this organization. So we have this follow-up luncheon that started a few years ago. And I take my squad every month, and my veteran will be 96. They call him the Candy Man, because every month he comes to the little luncheon and he brings a basket full of candy. And he said his goal in life is to put a smile on everybody's face. And I will tell you that before Lawrence moved to Summerfield from West Virginia, where he was a coal miner, he said no one ever said thank you for your service to him. He was over in Germany where the Germans built these big, huge cement blocks where they put their heavy machinery and guns and stuff in at the beaches. And his job was to go over there and blow those things up. And because he had worked in the coal mines from the time he was 18 years old, he knew about explosives because that's what he did in the coal mines. And he said, thank God I never listened to my boss because I wouldn't be here to tell you the stories if I had. But that was his job. He says, I blowed those things up. And to this day, he says he wears his honor flight hat wherever he goes, and people stop him and thank him for his service. And I take him to Mission Barbecue for lunch because they really know how to treat veterans. And when I take him to Mission Barbecue, he walks in the door, and every staff member, oh, Lawrence is here. And they won't let him, and they won't let me buy his lunch. It's free. So the veterans here are treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. But how do we get these veterans to Washington? We have to raise money. And when I joined many years ago, to be a guardian, you had to pay $500 because the organization didn't have any money. And so we paid for our trip on the plane, plus we subsidized the veterans' trip, and the fee for a guardian was $500 each time you went. Because we have people who have volunteered to help us raise money, that fee has gone down, but the cost of taking the veterans to Washington has gone up. We do more for them. We have more little gifts for them. We have many surprises for them, some of which you guys tried to share tonight. No, 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 no. If there's a veteran listening, we don't want them to know what's going to happen except that they're going to be treated with royalty. So we have to raise money. And I'm not here tonight to ask you to put your hand in your pocket and give us money. But I will tell you that Village Honor Flight runs many fundraising events throughout the year. And something that any of you who ever use Amazon can do, and it won't cost you anything, is to go to smile.amazon.com. And every time you buy something from Amazon, they will donate 0.5% of your purchase price to a charity of your choice. And you can put in Villages Honor Flight as your charity. We are a 501c3 corporation. So it doesn't cost anything, but we will get money from that. It cost us approximately $600 per veteran to take them to Washington. Each flight is costing us about $80,000. And if the jet fuel costs go up, our costs are going to go up as well. But we need to raise money, and things like the Amazon is very simple. Anybody can do that has an Amazon account. We also, in Florida, there are, I think, 7 or 8 hubs in Florida alone. It's probably the most hubs in this state than any state, but we have many veterans that live in Florida. And our hub happens to be the largest one. And we also take care of Ocala since they are part of our 5-county area. But the state of Florida is going to be issuing a vanity license plate for your vehicle. Now, there will be an additional cost for your license plate, but in order to have a village, not a village, but a Honor Flight logo on your license plate, you have to apply for it. And if you go to villageshonorflight.org and click on that site, you can go and find where you can apply for a license plate, a vanity license plate. I think the cost is going to be about $35. But what's nice about it is that money is coming back to honor flights throughout the state of Florida. So that's another way you can help our organization. The other thing we do is we have fundraisers throughout the year. Something that's going on right now that anybody that likes art might want to participate in. Some gentleman donated some very nice artwork to the organization. He says, I want you to raise money with this art. Some of it is war-related, like there's one painting of all the different planes that were used in World War II. Another one is a Korean picture of a Korean vet. There's a Mickey Mouse, huge Mickey Mouse thing. It's huge. That's not framed. There's an original Kincaid painting. All of this art is available for you to go and use their silent auction at King's Gallery in Spanish Springs. It's right on Main Street until the end of the month, so there's not a whole lot of time left. But you can go in and see a painting that you like. You can make an offer for whatever you want. They'll show you what the last offer was, and you can raise that fee and buy yourself a nice piece of art. The other thing that we do every year, anybody in here golf? Any golfers? Gee, am I in the villages? I think there are golfers. Every year, our biggest fundraiser is our annual golf outing. The golf outing is going to take place on May 6th at Del Webb, but it's completely sold out. Thank you, God. We raise about $30,000 at that golf outing. It's a scramble. The applications for the golf outing usually come out in January or February, and you have to sign up quickly because every year it's sold out. It is a phenomenal day. The other thing that's going to happen next week, anybody here like to go to Nancy Lopez for dinner? You like Nancy Lopez? It's kind of like my favorite place. A little heavy on the pocketbook, but I still like it. But next Tuesday, if you go to Nancy Lopez for lunch or dinner, and you write on your bill, Village's Honor Flight, they will donate 20% of the cost of your meal back to Honor Flight. The Solomon family has done this at Havana. This time they're doing it at Legacy, at Nancy Lopez at Legacy Village. And it's Tuesday evening, the 26th, from 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. So take a friend, take a neighbor, take me if you don't know anybody. I'll be volunteering there, but I will have some free time, especially if you want to buy me dinner. But that's a real easy way for the Honor Flight to raise money without asking people for a huge donation. Another thing that I do personally, when I know someone passed away, someone that I might know here in the Villages or back in Ohio where I'm from, where Honor Flight started, when someone passes away, instead of making a donation to some organization that's a national organization, I make a donation to Villages Honor Flight in memory of that person. You will get a recognition for doing that, so will the family get a recognition that a donation was made in memory of. And it's a real nice way to honor a service person if you know anybody that has served. We also every year have a fashion show. We take our World War II vets and we make them put on these brand new clothes from wherever, and they model these clothes at a fashion show where the audience are mostly women, but you'd never know it because of the catcalls that the veterans get. And we do have women that model clothes as well, but it's really, the guys just absolutely love doing this. And the fashion show takes place every year, and we raise a lot of money doing that. Another thing we do every year at Brownwood, on Veterans Weekend in November, the whole square of Brownwood is cordoned off. And it's all about veterans. It's not just Honor Flight, but Gary Cato's SOS is there. Other organizations of veterans are there. And our veterans are always escorted into the square with cheerleaders and everybody else bringing them in. And these people are honored, and the audience stands and applauds and applauds and applauds. And we have 50-50 raffles and things like that. If you belong to a club or an organization, you can ask the Speakers Bureau and my boss, Vicki, to send a speaker, and they will show up at your club or organization. And if you want to pass the hat, we don't mind taking donations. Or we will go and talk to your group, and maybe your group would like to make a donation. We never turn down the funds. Restaurants like Cody's a couple weeks ago had a fundraiser. They charged everybody $10 to get in the door. They had a little wristband they put on their wrist that they bought from Honor Flight for $10. They got free appetizers. Drinks were half price. And we raised a lot of money. You couldn't get in the place. It was packed. And so the restaurants get something for it, and so does Honor Flight. Some of the other restaurants that have really come up to the plate are City Fire. We had a volunteer recognition. Volunteers really don't get recognized very much. We don't want to get recognized very much. But City Fire decided that at our annual meeting of volunteers, they provided a free lunch to the volunteers. There were, 250 people showed up. Now, some of these people, and this lady over here asked about the organization, and Vicki answered about what it takes to be a guardian. There are so many things that take place with Honor Flight where you're not a guardian, you're not a veteran, you work behind the scenes, you make telephone calls, you write letters, you are transportation for the vets. We don't let the vets drive on the day of their flight. They can't drive to the American Legion or drive home. We need people to drive them. We have someone that has to help us take care of the maintenance of the wheelchairs. We have people who provide coffee and donuts or cookies to the veterans when they come to the luncheons. There's all kinds of volunteer opportunities that you might just volunteer 1 or 2 hours a month, or you might want to volunteer for more than that. It's up to you, but we need volunteers. We like to take our donations and thank the people and tell you that our organization is one well-oiled machine. There's not one penny that goes to waste. I think at the last meeting they mentioned that 97% of all money donated goes directly to veterans. So they're running this organization that's postage, insurance, any administrative costs, copies, that kind of thing, on 3% of the money donated. That's unheard of for most organizations. So thank you for your time. Thank you for inviting us to participate with this great organization. And I hope you will help us either by volunteering or contributing or participating in our fundraising. So thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you, ladies, very, very much. That was really informative. Before you guys all get up, I just want to tell you that next month, May, we'll be at Laurel Manor, and our speaker will be Lynn Hathaway on lightning. In June, we'll be back here for our candidate night for the people that are running for Sumter County Commission and a few other selected seats. In July, Bradley Arnold, Sumter County Administrator, will be here to talk about the budget, and I'm sure I'll have some other issues I'd like to talk to him about. August, we don't have a speaker yet. In September, we'll be at Laurel Manor, and Dr. Norman Anderson has got a presentation that I think you really want to see. And in October, I'm going to have Patrick Walsh, who runs the Covanta plant that takes our trash and burns it. And we're going to find out what happens and what that project is all about, since we don't recycle anymore. So I thought that would be pretty interesting. So thank you guys all for coming. Got donuts and coffee in the back, and we'll see you next month.